right, so I know we just met, but play with me for a minute here and put your hand out like this. And then put your thumb out, and then turn it up and down. Awesome. So we all know what thumbs up and thumbs down means, right? Thumbs up means I like you, I agree with you, I believe you. And thumbs down, not so much. So I want you to consider that I don't know how to work this. There we go. Hey guys, they're moving, but they're not moving. Okay, so I want you to consider that we all go through life evaluating everything that's coming at us and giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, right? And Angelique's been talking this morning about opportunity. I'll get it back there. I'm going the wrong way, guys. Can you start me over? Okay, so Angelique's been talking this morning all about opportunity, right? And the opportunity is right here in the room. And how you act on and build on that opportunity when you leave here has everything to do with your own internal thumbs up and thumbs down system. So we want to think about how do we actually evaluate the thumbs up and thumbs down. And I want to tell you that I've personally built a business. I started from 0 5 years ago, and I've added 6 figures in revenue to my business every year since. Thank you. And I've done that. It's not because I'm super talented. It's certainly not because I can work a PowerPoint, right? But I've done that by mastering this thumbs up and thumbs down. So to tell you a little bit about that, I want to take you back to 1999. And I was working in my corporate job, and I was a senior product development engineer for Procter & Gamble. By the way, I'm not a petrochemical engineer, but I am a chemical engineer. And I'm in my corporate job, and I just got promoted, and I was nominated to take this corporate training. Maybe some of you sell something like this. I was being trained to become a coach to work with managers and subordinates to help them have good working relationships by getting any preconceived biases they might have about each other out on the table. So in order to be good at this, we had to be aware of our own preconceived biases as coaches, right? Makes sense? So we did this exercise, and we all sat in a big circle, and each person took turns going into the center of the circle, and we had to tell the truth about what we believed about things like race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. And everyone in the outside of the circle had to give us either a thumbs up or a thumbs down as to whether we were telling the truth. Now, I learned a few things in that training. First of all was that I was terrified to talk about what I believed. Did I mention that I'm an engineer? Yeah. But other than that, I learned that we humans have an innate truth-sensing system. More specifically, we can tell when someone believes what they're saying. We can sense alignment. So I love this quote by Larry Winget, which you've probably read by now. People will never listen to what you have to say or believe what you have to say, but they will always listen for whether you believe what you have to say. And that is really what I mastered, that allowed me to go ahead of my peers in business, is saying what I actually believe. So that's your job over the next 3 days, is to say what you believe and believe what you say. Sounds pretty simple, right? So the issue is, it's not all that simple, because we live in a society that has all kinds of thumbs down energy, right? We're trained to lie. Angelique talked about this, don't bite your tongue, right? So we are trained to keep our opinions to ourselves, to be polite, and to make other people's happy. I saw that in that room, in that training. So what do we do about this, right? If we're trained to lie? I want to start to bring awareness to some of the energy that we walk around in every day. Okay? So I want you to think about how you got here today and the conversations you've had so far and see if you can place them. 95% of us default to I lose or you lose energy under stress. 95%. So I lose energy. You have a pervasive thought that says, whatever I say, it really isn't going to make a difference, so why bother? Right? I'll just keep it to myself. I'm not going to waste my time speaking up. It'll probably hurt, right? So in I lose energy, we default to conversations like talking about the weather or travel or a host of common complaints. Everyone's had these conversations? I grew up in that, yeah. You lose energy comes from a pervasive belief that there is not enough, a fundamental belief in scarcity. Therefore, in order for me to survive, someone else has to lose, right? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and if I'm the slowest, I'm going to get eaten. So when we're walking around and you lose energy, the conversations look like kind of puffing up your chest and trying to impress. You know, I've got this is my experience, this is my resume, these are the clients I've worked with. And it's not coming from a celebratory energy, it's really coming from an energy of trying to prove. Has anyone had those conversations? Yeah, a little bit. So again, if you're not identifying with either of those, you might be in the I win, which is essentially coming from a place of checking things off the to-do list. Right? I'm going to have as many conversations as I possibly can because that's going to better my odds of winning. But they're not quality conversations. They're not real conversations. We're actually sharing the things we believe. So how do we shift out of this? Right? We want to really look at creating the energy of a conversation. So I'm going to give you a couple tools for that today. So the first energy you could create from is a win-win energy, okay? And I want you to listen for which of these two really resonates for you. So the win-win energy comes from a fundamental belief that each and every individual is complete and capable of being everything they're meant to be on this planet. In other words, you don't have to fix them. There's nothing you have to do, there's nothing you have to say, there's no one you have to be. It's all, they're capable. And you look for what's right in the other person. So imagine coming to a conversation where both people are looking for what's right. It's very collaborative. You really build. Kurt Wright, in his book, Breaking the Rules, studied corporations that he considered to be on a roll. And one of the things he saw that they all had in common was that they chose to focus on what was right or what's working. And they would literally turn their backs on things that could be a problem. Has anybody been in a company where you had to troubleshoot the plan B, right? And then plan B happens? Shocking, right? The second energy you might choose to focus on is we all always win energy. So we all always win energy comes from a fundamental belief that we're all connected. And if you do amazing things in your business, it just paves the way for everyone else to be amazing too. You don't have to hide, right? The more for you means more for other people. Win-win energy, you'd go through life, or we all always win, and you just assume everything's happening perfectly. You sat next to the exact perfect person today, and you will get in the exact right breakout session this afternoon. It's amazing. So at a recent retreat, my clients created an immediate money goal for themselves. And I was walking around the room, and my client, Trish, wrote her goal. She said her goal was $8,000, but I read it as $18,000. Now, we're all always winning energy has you not resist, right? You receive what's coming towards you. So she chose to receive this goal, and she just went with it. On the flight home from that retreat, she sat next to her first $18,000 client. So I'm not asking you to believe anything in particular today. I'm just asking you to try it on, right? How might your conversations be different if you proactively created an energy that allowed you to show up as fully yourself and allowed the other person to show up and really share what they believed and what's true for them? So I have a free resource for you because obviously this is a really quick overview and this is some deep study. There are actually 7 levels of energy that we operate from. And what we bring into that conversation makes all the difference in how quickly you grow and how quickly you can get rid of your upside down or your Egyptian pyramid, right? So it's called the 7 levels of impact, and it's all about how to get to the source of what's working and what's not working in your business really quickly. Because there's nothing more frustrating than continuing to try to solve the same problem, right? You do one marketing activity, and then you do it again twice because it didn't work the first time, rather than getting to the energy source of why you're creating the result you're creating. So that's $197 value, and I've got that for you at no cost. We've got some folks that will collect your business cards on the way out of the room. And don't leave right this moment because we have someone who's going to come up and do some announcements. But I want to challenge you on this break. As you're meeting people, just try on one little thing and say, how can I give them an automatic thumbs up in this conversation? And what might we create together? So that's what I have today. Thank you.